Hello and welcome to another out-of-spec testing video. This is my first testing video and today we are doing the classic 10% challenge. In my opinion, the absolute best test for electric cars. The 10% challenge means that we will go to our charger at 10%, charge for 15 minutes and see how far we can go on the energy that was added in 15 minutes. And today we are testing the Zeekr 7X. Keep in mind that this is the top spec model, not necessarily the range spec. It has the large wheels, all the performance, everything, and it has this beautiful forest green paint, which I really like. So today we are going to test how it does in the 10% challenge, and we are going to do it here in, not Norway, Sweden. Yes, Sweden. And something interesting about this car that I have to mention before we go on to the 10% challenge, I will go through the 10% challenge as well, is that officially it charges at 360 kilowatt in Europe. I don't know why, but I think they say it because of charger availability, because I have tested the charging and I've gotten over 400 kilowatt. It's a little bit dependent on the charger, it's a little bit dependent on the cable, and I think there might be something with the CCS2 port itself that they have implemented in this car that makes it charge a little bit different than in other markets. Doesn't really matter. At 400 kilowatt and a pretty decent curve, I would say, it's a charging monster. But charging isn't everything. Charging and large battery isn't everything. The car needs to be efficient because it needs to go far on the energy that we have added, of course. If it's inefficient, it'll just eat through the energy and we don't get any good range. So today we are going to put the two together. We are going to put the charging speed and the efficiency together in the 10% challenge, which is the ultimate test for testing how good electric cars are on road trips. We know that Chinese cars are leading in charging, that's no secret. But one thing they have been struggling a little bit with, at least up until recently, is the efficiency of the cars. Usually we have Tesla, that's amazingly efficient. We have Lucid, that's amazingly efficient. And then we have Chinese cars that are, unfortunately, up until now, they have been a little bit less efficient, but they have an insane charging performance to make up for it. So usually it hasn't been a huge issue. And the same with Tesla. Their charging performance sucks, but their efficiency is like class leading, so it doesn't matter as much. So what we need is good efficiency, amazing charging together to get the best road tripping electric cars. So I can't wait to test this Zeekr 7X in the 10% challenge in Sweden. So tire pressures are set. The car will start at 10% with the battery fully preconditioned. I will plug into a charger, and which charger will I plug into? Well, we have to go somewhere else. I'll show you later, because Alpitronic Hyper 400 should be able to max out this one, right? Not in all cases. Some charge point operators choose cables that are a little bit too low amperage, which means that the cable will kinda bottleneck the entire charging session. Okay, so then we look at other chargers. We have NIO has 500 kilowatt chargers that can do 600-700 amps. And I think that's not the best solution for this one. So what I found is Alpitronic Hyper 400, but it's made for truck charging, which means that they have installed a beefy cable. And I actually did a lot of testing. I went down to Germany, to Süßmarhausen, to the charging hub there, the Sortemo Innovation Park thing, and tested all the chargers there. I tested the 475 kilowatts ones, which are branded at 300, but doesn't really matter. Nope, the ramp up were too slow to be used in the 10% challenge. I went over to the MPC, the mega high power charger tester they had. Nope, too slow ramp, and it only gave me 250 amps. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's the car, maybe it's the charger. I don't really know. Doesn't work for the 10% challenge. It's so strange. These chargers say 475 kilowatt. Oh, it's ramping, but it's so slow. So it has been such a hunt for chargers that can be used for the 10% challenge for this car. And yeah, it's annoying that not everyone has good cables on their Alpitronics, because let's try to jump over to the MPC ones just really quick. I'm testing to see if I can use this charger for the 10% challenge. This is apparently a mega power charger by the Sortimo Innovation Park. Now it just gives me 140 amps, so doesn't seem like much of a high power charger right now. We are quite preconditioned, but as mentioned, I'm just testing to see if this works. I was hoping to get like, I don't know, 600 amps. So the best solution I found, even better than the Neo one, is an Alpitronic Hyper 400 made for truck charging with a beefy 500 amp cable plus a boost. That's available in a place called Himle in Sweden. So that's what we will do. Of course, there might be other chargers around that can make this car do better in the 10% challenge, but I couldn't find them. And I looked at a lot of charging curves. So I will plug it into this truck charger, record handshake time, and of course see what happens when the contactors click. From the contactors click on the car itself, 15 minutes, that's all we have. The climate will stay on because it's a road trip after all. And then I will accelerate up to 80 miles per hour, which in this car is 129 kilometers per hour. And I will avoid drafting, and I will turn around at the halfway point when we have used half our energy. And I will also precondition to the charger in the end. So when the car reaches 10%, we have used everything that we added in the beginning of the test at the charger. That means that we have measured the distance that we can actually go with the energy we added in 15 minutes. So this will be an exciting test of the Zeekr 7X, one of the best charging EVs in Europe, the absolute best charging SUV in Europe. So I'm super excited to test this one and see how it compares to all the other cars that we have tested here on Autospec testing. So join me as I jump into the Zeekr 7X and go to Himle in Sweden. We are ready to run the 10% challenge. We came here with 11% preconditioned battery. It's fully preconditioned, at least as of a few seconds ago. We will wait until we dip down to 10. We will plug in for 15 minutes, and then we will see how far we can go on the energy added in 15 minutes. It's a very simple test, but we have some rules. We're going 80 miles per hour. That's 129 kilometers per hour on this car. I have measured the GPS speed, so we will make sure that we follow that speed. These chargers are Alpitronic Hyper 400s with one cable, and the cable is a 500 amp rated, but with a boost above 500 amp. So these should be a good solution for us to get near our maximum charging speed. I have been on the lookout for chargers that we can use for this test for days, and even in Germany and Norway it's very difficult to find chargers that fit our needs because of the cables that are installed. So in short, these are our best solution that I have found, even better than the 500 kilowatt Neo ones. So thanks to OKQ8 for these amazing truck chargers. I absolutely love them. Just one cable, 400 kilowatts, full rip. We are just waiting for our car to dip down to 10%. We will run climate in eco mode, and we will of course brush up on the rules for the 10% challenge before we go. Here are the rules. Tire pressure set to manufacturer recommendation. Yes, I've checked the tire pressures. Car starts at 10% state of charge with battery fully preconditioned. Yep, we are fully preconditioned, and we have the battery at 10% state of charge. Plug into DC fast charge, record handshake time. We will record the handshake time. Charge for precisely 15 minutes starting when the contactors click on the car. Use climate control while charging. Yes, we will keep the door open and everything active and make sure the climate is on while we are charging. We will use, let's see, enter highway, gentle acceleration to 80 miles per hour. Climate set to 68 to 72. We will use 20 degrees Celsius, which I think is within the specifications. Avoid drafting trucks, and there is no one else on the road. It's almost 3 a.m. right now, so that's fine. Use half of replenish range, then turn around. We will try to do that to the best of our ability. There is some elevation on all highways in this area, but that's fine. No issues. We will just do a loop to try to avoid any loss there, or most of it. Set fast charger as destination. Yep, we will do that when we are on our return leg. We will precondition to the charger. Maintain 80 miles per hour until SOC moves from 11 to 10%. We will do that. This car has an automatic trip teller once you are done charging, which we will use, which is awesome. So now we are just waiting. We are very close for this to tip down to 10%. I've been doing some loops. Now I think we will just stay here until it dips down to 10, and hopefully we can start charging and get on our way. By the way, just proving to you that the battery temperature is okay, I click the preconditioning button and it says the battery has reached optimal charging temperature. So there is no issue there. We have the optimal charging temperature. The charging curve of this car is quite funny and quite difficult to find out, mainly due to so many factors like the cables on the charger itself, the car and the battery and the thermal management of the car. And then we have the CCS2 port that's installed on this car that might have some limitations that we don't know about with the pins and everything. Because this is a high amperage charging car, high amperage and high voltage, which is why we can expect to reach 400 kilowatts or close to it. It depends. But mostly the charging time from 10 to 80% is similar regardless of the top charging speed. It's the curve that matters. So we will see what we get. We should be set to get our maximum charging speed with these chargers and our battery fully preconditioned. Finally got him to 10% here, so let's charge up.
Your phone is still in the vehicle.
Nice! 400 kilowatts immediately. We will turn this down to 20, I think, and then turn this to eco mode. 400 kilowatts, 573 amps. Amazing start. About 18 seconds of handshake time, and I have the charging time here. Also, the charging time is on the Alpitronic unit itself. We will take a look at the curve. 400 kilowatts. This will taper down, and I know it already, but at least these chargers can supply 570 amps to us, which is more than I could find anywhere else. Even 600 amps certified chargers, like I think the Neos are, can't give us exactly what we want. And there are so many things I still need to figure out and learn, but I want to do a 10% challenge. So we have charged for 1 minute and 15 seconds, and we are at 19% already, which is nice. Can't really complain there. And now we're down to 381 kilowatts. It will drop down, then go up, drop down. It's just a little bit of a crazy car, but doesn't matter as long as the area under the curve is nice. We are running the climate. I will turn down the fan a little bit. We don't need that much fan. We're running the climate in eco mode, so that's nice. We have been charging for soon 2 minutes. And we are 22% already, which is amazing. So great to see that we get a representative charging curve here. I would say that this is definitely representative. Now I need to follow the rules here. I need to read them once more, because it's very important to follow these. So yeah, 15 minutes from the contactors. Click in the car, yes. So yeah, it should be easy to do this, to be honest. Down to 340 kilowatts at 25%. So yeah, we already see that it's not like 400 kilowatts flat, but I would say it's pretty good. And when you get, everybody talks about the flat charging curves, and that's super nice. But if you have a boost in the beginning, you have the ability to go faster overall on the road trip if you optimize charging down low. Often flatter charging curves means like lower overall or same overall average, or even more. But if you have the options, if the average from 10 to 80 is the same, I think I personally would rather have an insane charging down low, so that I have the option to go faster. Of course, if the flat charging curve is faster overall from 10 to 80, that's a better solution, of course. 360 kilowatts, we are doing 500 amps still at 31%. So still going strong. I would say that this is a good charging curve for testing this 10% challenge. It's representative from what I've seen over the thousands of kilometers I've driven this car. This is a representative curve, which I'm very happy about, because it's 3 AM and I want to get this test over with. Still 374 kilowatts. And we are soon 4 minutes into the charging test, and we are at 34% state of charge. You can also see here you see dynamic range from last driving, and then you can see the current, of course. The current is still over 500 amps, so I suspect that a lot of the chargers are actually limited by the cable, but not these. These are heavy-duty truck chargers. So we are at 37% now, still doing pretty well, 350 kilowatt. We will drop down to 250 at some point, but I'm actually not sure when that happens. But yeah, we have this amazing boost in the beginning, and you get this boost, you can get this higher in the pack also. Everything depends on so many factors, so it's always difficult to find out. Again, this car is not the range spec at all. We have the huge 20-inch wheels with like the performance rims and everything, and this is the performance model. It has 630 horsepower. It's very fast, very fun to drive, and yeah, that's important to note, that this is not the range spec. You can get this in a long range model, still doing above what the Taycan does at max, because that's 320, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But this is not that efficient, but I think it will do well in the 10% challenge. At least I hope so, because now I'm really eager to test this car on the 10% challenge. So 6 minutes into the charging test, 314 kilowatts at 46%. So now we are dipping down below the Taycan curve, and the Taycan curve goes to 60%. So we are charging worse than the Taycan right now, and probably lower efficiency as well. So yeah, just worth noting. Still though, over 400 amps, 727 volts. Insane. We are not even halfway into our charging session, but as we know, it goes slower and slower as we move up, so we don't even know what we will end up at. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's 17 degrees outside, which is probably a little bit colder than many of the other tests, but it's not cold at all. So we have dipped below 400 amps, and 400 amps is what a lot of chargers will give you, 400 amps maximum. Some will give you 500, some will boost to 500 and taper off, because I've seen like old tritium chargers, they can't really hold their 500 amp rating for very long. Of course, it's dependent on the cables. The tritium chargers use Phoenix cables, I think, usually. We're 8 minutes and 25 minutes in, and we are at 60% state of charge, 59% state of charge. This is the best curve I've had so far, so this is perfect for testing on 10% challenge. 255 kilowatts at 61%. This is also typical when you do deep charging sessions. But sometimes at the end, it'll jump up again to like 300 kilowatt if it's, I don't know, if it's feeling like it. We are throttling down to 189 kilowatts at 64%. This is pretty bad, and this is also typical of this car. It can't hold it for too long, the amazing charging curve, but the ability to have this insane charging in the beginning will make you go faster if you optimize the charging curve. So if you arrive at low state of charge, like 10%, charge to 60% and then get going, it's completely fine. We still have 5 minutes of charging left, so we'll see what happens. It has happened that this one jumps up to like 300 kilowatts at the end, but we might not reach that point due to the time constraints of this challenge. It needs to check everything before ramping up again. I've seen it ramp up, but I'm not sure if it will happen at this state of charge or if we will reach the state of charge where it would happen. So interesting to see, at least. Let's see here. Wow, what's happening? Oh, it fell down and it's ramping again. Strange behavior. I think the cooling kicked on. Nice. It really wants to pull 170, but it's a little bit unsure. Still running climate and everything, just so we know. It's jumping up and down, the charging speed. Not sure what's going on, but doesn't really matter. We have a ton of energy in our battery. Oh, now it's ramping to 170 again. We have 1 minute left. Let's hope we can get to 75%. Then I'm very, very happy, I think. Because I don't think the car ever is the bottleneck. I think it's either the CCS2 port, the cable, or the charger. But I don't think it is the charger in this case. Okay, now it's 15 minutes. Let's stop. Stop charging. There we go. Charging stopped. Okay, done. There we go. Locked in at 129 kilometers per hour. That equals between 128 and 129. GPS verified, so that's nice. We will go acceleration, comfort, regen, strong. We will go steering mode, standard, doesn't matter at all. And we are in very low suspension. It automatically goes into very low suspension when we are driving like this. So we charge to 76%, around there. That means that we will return when we have 10 plus 33%, right? Yeah. So we will leave when we have 43% left. Then we will turn around. I mean, yeah, should be accurate. Now we are driving south into. We are not driving into anything, but we are driving south towards Denmark. So we can go into the Zeekr navigation here. But yeah. Just for your information, we are still in Sweden, and this entire trip will be driven in Sweden. So if you ever want to visit Sweden, you don't need to. Just watch this video and you can see everything. And there's also a little bit of fog. But I have great visibility, and the Matrix LED headlights are great, but they are blinding some of the trucks in the opposite direction, actually. Which sucks. They will blink at me. And if there are a lot of trucks, I will turn it off, because it's super annoying for these long-haul drivers to be blinded all the time. Our efficiency is really, really bad right now. I'm wondering if it's a little bit uphill, and we will see what happens. And there is a ton of fog here. Doing a little bit of manual driving because the driver assistance system might not like this dense fog, which I'm not really used to, but I have okay visibility. Well, even if this car doesn't win on efficiency, it wins on comfort. It's so nice to drive. And these are super noisy roads, and to be honest, I can't even... They're not annoying at all. In the Model Y, this road feels so terrible. Just a quick update, we are down to 59%. We have driven for half an hour. We have driven 62 kilometers, and we have an average efficiency of 289 watt-hour per kilometer. So, and the temperature outside is hovering between 15 and 17 degrees Celsius. I have no idea where we will end up as a result, and I can't even remember the earlier scores in the 10% challenge, so I need to look at the numbers when I get back and see what's impressive and what's not. The efficiency, 287 watt-hour per kilometer, is not very impressive right now. It's a little bit higher than when I was driving around here myself, actually doing the same kinds of speed. This is just a normal speed around here, and yeah, I got better efficiency. And the reason is that, of course, there was just more traffic, so you just draft behind the truck or you slow down for a little stretch, and that helps a bunch on the efficiency. When you're driving at a constant 80 miles per hour, no one in front of you, and you're just going full send, of course you will have lower efficiency. Here is our exit. We will try to maximize the region, and we will also take it very slow when we accelerate to minimize any loss that we can minimize. Oh, look at the beautiful sunrise. Okay. And slow acceleration up to 129 kilometers per hour. It will be exciting to see if we make it all the way back to the charger, but the charger doesn't necessarily have any, like, it's not on top of a hill or anything like that. Wow, that bump deactivated the lane keep assist. There we go. So shouldn't be any issue if we get to 10% right before the charger or anything like that. The route planner says that we need a charge to make it back to the charger, but this route planner just is a little bit pessimistic, I would say. Very pessimistic. So snow doesn't seem like a huge issue at all. We're going down the big hill, which means our efficiency will increase. It's at 283 watt-hour per kilometer now at the top of this kind of hill. So we will see what happens once we are down. Just to go over the stats so far, we have turned around for our turnaround point. We are now at 157 kilometers so far. We have 31% left, so we have 21% to burn still. We have driven for 1 hour and 18 minutes. So yeah, 11%, so 231 kilometers so far, almost 2 hours, and it'll soon go to 10, and at 10 I will record the final result. Okay, so we are at 11%. We are preconditioning to our charger, but it stopped preconditioning because well, it thinks we can't make it. 11% still, 233 kilometers, 1 hour and 54 minutes, 272 watt-hour per kilometer so far. We are close to getting to 10. We will not take this exit. This is just to a charger it automatically added for us, so no worries there. We just need to keep a record of our... There we go, 10 and 243 kilometers. Let's analyze the results of the Zeekr 7X, and this is the Privilege all-wheel drive, and it's important to mention that it's the Privilege all-wheel drive because the range is not as good as the long-range rear-wheel drive. So this one has an estimated WLTP range of 543 kilometers. The long-range rear-wheel drive has smaller wheels and of course just one motor in the rear, so it gains an advantage in terms of range. 615 kilometers WLTP. The core, the small battery one, which doesn't is not available in Europe yet, is 480 kilometers WLTP. So at 543 kilometers WLTP with the 100 kilowatt-hour battery, this is an inefficient car in the WLTP cycle. Just important to note that the Tesla Model Y has more WLTP range with a smaller battery. So per definition, it is an inefficient car. But maybe it will go further than its WLTP range, which we have seen many times before with different types of cars. Under promise, over deliver is everything about this car, especially about the charging speed. Saying that you can maximum get 360 and then you get 400. That's awesome. My watch likes to just start talking sometimes. Okay, so let's take a look at the results. So with the energy added in 15 minutes, we were able to drive 234 kilometers, that's 145 miles. We did so in 1 hour and 54 minutes, so that's almost 2 hours of driving after charging for 15 minutes, and it's relatively high-speed driving, or at least highway driving. Our efficiency was 272 watt-hour per kilometer, or 2.3 miles per kilowatt-hour. So that's pretty bad, I would say. Not great efficiency on the highway. But keep in mind that this is an SUV. It has more space than a Model Y. It is very properly sized. It's not a 3-row, but it's not extremely far from a 3-row. It's a large, just air suspension, full comfort SUV. So 145 miles, where do that put us? Well, we have the insane Taycan full range spec. Let's see here. We have the full Taycan range spec that did 193 miles. That's of course a rear-wheel drive, 19-inch, everything range spec. We were also beat by a 4S Sport Turismo 2025 model. Of course, insanely fast charging, and a Sport Turismo would be more efficient than this car. We were beaten by a 2025 Lucid Air Grand Touring. Understandable, extremely efficient car. Yeah, just amazing car. But we beat the 2023 Lucid Air Grand Touring on the 19-inch wheels by 1 mile. So we were better in the 10% challenge than the 2023 Lucid Air Grand Touring with the 19-inch wheels. And that was a pretty insane car when it came out, and it still is a pretty insane car. And it's a sedan. So we also beat the Ioniq 6 on full range spec, rear-wheel drive, 18-inch wheels, everything. We beat the 2022 Porsche Taycan. We beat the 2024 Kia EV6, Tesla Model S Plaid, Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive, Mercedes EQS 450 Plus, Silverado EV. We're pretty far up there. There's just three cars in the test that has beaten us in this Zeekr 7X. And I can see that the Model X Plaid was way more efficient than this car. So if this car was a little bit more efficient, it would have done a lot better. Anyways, that was it for the 10% challenge. What do you think? This is the fastest SUV, electric SUV, in the 10% challenge so far. So you need to stay tuned for the upcoming SUVs that we need to run in this test. The Cayenne EV, when that comes out. The Macan is maybe not run in this test yet. Anyways, tons of cars to test and check and compare to this 10% challenge. I think this challenge is such a great way to see how your road trip experience will be with the car. So thank you so much for watching Autospec, and see you later.